on X-Line Road and that corridor to the right of 101 going towards Paso Robles.
Welsona?
Yeah, just the X-Line Road from Welsona down to X-Line on the west side of 101 is an area that they kind of have a lacking response because of positions of equipment. So we'll be able to help them out there, they'll be able to help us out, and they're gonna be able to make that commitment. We'll get an engine from Station 84, which is at the old boys school. They'll have one at Meridian and one out of Templeton, which is engine 30. They're rebuilding the Ramada station now, but
84 is off the airport?
yeah, it's at the old boys school fire camp. So they have 2 engines staffed out there during the summer, and they come online May 1st, and they're actually bringing on April 1st some additional engines with crews, not a full wildland coverage, but by May 1st they'll be fully covered. Other than that, report is submitted as written unless you have any questions.
Any questions or comments from the public?
And also, I have a tentative agreement, it's only a draft. When I get the final draft, it'll be included in that month's agenda for public speaking.
Okay. Consent calendar. Does anybody want to pull any items for discussion?
I'd like to pull the meeting minutes from February.
Item 1.
Yes, item 1.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve items 2 and 3 of the consent calendar?
Motion.
A second.
So 2 and 3, Sangster, Parent, Director Palafox,
Yes.
Director Sangster,
Yes.
Director Parent,
Yes.
President Green.
Yes.
Passes 4, 0, 1 absent.
Okay, is there a review and approve board meeting minutes?
What do you got?
Yeah.
Under item 4 in the meeting minutes from February 28th, it states that the motion was seconded by Director Buckman.
That would have been hard.
Okay, so item 4,
Maybe in spirit.
seconded by Buckman.
Yes.
I'll find out who that really was and amend it.
Okay.
So is there a motion to approve item 1 of the consent calendar as corrected?
Motion to approve as corrected.
I'll second.
So is there any public comment on that? Go ahead.
Would you mind telling me what the amendment was that?
That there's a correction that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I
Gib
understand.
Buckman wasn't at that
Yeah, I
meeting as a
yeah,
board member.
Yeah, I know that, but what was the amendment? Because I don't know if I think I missed that meeting because.
Changing who made the motion from Buckman to whoever actually.
Yeah,
He wants to
yeah.
know what they were voting on.
Yeah, what were they voting on?
Adoption of regular meeting
That
agenda.
was, yeah, it was
I
adopted.
think,
It's just the adoption.
I think tomorrow you're gonna go back and listen to the meeting to see who made the second. So I think,
Right,
The
but
motion
he's asking
is-
what is the
It's
subject
adoption.
matter
Yeah,
of
what
the
was
Adoption of meeting
discussion was.
agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what,
The motion was to adopt the previous meeting's agenda. So
Oh,
just-
okay.
yeah.
all right.
So I got a Sangster, a Parent, Director Parent,
Yes.
Director Sangster,
Yes.
Director Palafox,
Yes.
President Green.
Yes.
Passes 4, 0, 1 absent with amendment.
Okay, board action item 1, review, discuss, receive, file the enumeration of financial reports for January 2019.
If you guys recall, this was brought back to you because when it was submitted, the audit had passed and the reconciliation on those accounts was made in the time of that report, and the reconciliations didn't match, so the amendments were made and brought back to you for approval at this meeting.
Any questions or comments?
None.
Any questions or comments from the public? Back to the board. Is there a motion?
A motion to receive and file.
Sangster, any second?
I'll second.
Parent? Director Palafox?
Yes.
Director Sangster?
Yes.
Director Parent?
Yes.
President Green?
Yes.
Passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
Item 2, review, discuss, receive, file, and enumeration of financial reports for February 2019. Is there any questions or comments from the board? None. Any public comment? Back to the board. Is there a motion?
Motion to receive and file.
Sangster? Palafox? Director Parent?
Yes.
Director Palafox?
Yes.
Director Sangster?
Yes.
President Green?
Yes.
Passes 4-0, 1 absent.
Item 3, first reading of proposed ordinance 1-2019, the Smcsd Water Code.
This would be Mr. Dodds.
So what you had before you, and hopefully you all had a chance to read through it, is the draft water code for the district. This will be the first water code the district's had, essentially. Basically encompasses almost every aspect of what the district does for water in one point or another. What this will do is take all the best management practices that we already enforce and puts them into a code, which makes it more legally binding. It gives people that are either building here or live here more structure in how we operate, and it provides more of a legal ground for us to enforce some of the rules that we already enforce through best management practices, and be able to effectively force people into doing what is necessary for health and safety. Really doesn't encompass anything other than what we're already doing. It does, like I said, it pretty much puts into a code what we do now, and will make it easier for us to operate into the future.
What if anything did change
What do you mean?
in this? Based
There's
on
never
what
been
we
one.
normally do, was there anything that you could think of that?
The only thing that's really a change in here from what we normally do is there is sections that will allow for development if you want to provide or retrofit your buildings with low flow. Say we had multifamily buildings or something that they wanted to retrofit. There's an outlet for that. We haven't had a request for that type of thing, but it is in here.
Provision for the future.
Right. And it does kind of spell out processes for will serves and processes for complaints. So again, the general concept is to be able to bring all this together for our protection and the public's protection.
Anything for the public's knowledge, anything in here that affects a homeowner that's currently not building or anything, just living here and using the water?
There's really nothing in here that's going to affect any of the homeowners at this point. If you're building, there is some minor effect. If you want to apply for some sort of rebate for or apply for retrofitting, there is provision for that. But it doesn't place any more burden on any of the homeowners or anybody that currently pays a water bill. But it does provide a clear path for us to test backflow devices, which we don't have now. So if you're a property owner that has a backflow device that is it serves either more than one occupant or is deemed necessary for health and safety for fire protection, then it provides an outlet for the district to test that device to keep that service in service. Before we would have to shut off the service, which puts more than just the occupant at risk. There is minor provision for conservation in the occurrence of a drought.
Yeah, I'm looking for that now. What chapter was
I
that?
don't remember exactly which
I
section.
don't think that's on the agenda.
It's section 4.
All right, I see. Now, we already had,
We had started a conservation ordinance, but there was never one that was passed.
okay, but is this drafted from that?
This is not drafted from that. This is basically the best management practice through the state. It's not tied to really anything specifically to do with a drought here. It's tied to the amount of use a home uses in a drought. So if you're a habitual user or a habitual overuser and you're using significantly more than what a normal household would use, then if the board rather approves a drought or approves watering restrictions, then that's how that's affected. There would still
Right,
have
but
to
what can
be,
you call a normal, I mean,
Yeah.
some people
This-
have 8 people in the house, some people have 1.
right. Let me go to that section.
Yeah.
But this last drought, were we in stage 1?
Well, we weren't in stage anything because we didn't have a
Well,
ordinance.
If
We were following
you
this.
know what I mean, if we had, did we hit the threshold for stage 1? 17 or more hours a day, 5 consecutive days in a 10-day period?
No.
Okay, just curious, just trying to gauge it here.
Sorry, it's taking me a few minutes to get there.
Oh, it's gonna take me a couple of days to get there.
What's going on with that?
This file's on this computer, it's just the computer.
It's never done.
Tell you could try shutting it off and turning it back on.
Oh, no. Never get started again. I'm so close.
Only one more second.
Only one more second.
You there?
Yep, I'm here. Did you get there?
I'm here. I'm 4.3.
So basically, I was thinking of a different section of this, but Dirk Barron's correct. It's based on hours pumping, not well level.
But stage 1, that's pretty extreme. I mean, that's,
It is fairly
if you're
extreme.
pumping at that regimen, you're really
We're
pumping
having
it out of
other
the
problems.
ground.
We're having other problems at that point.
Yeah,
I mean, historically, we've been fairly lucky as far as our water usage, our drawdown, and our overall well levels. They've been fairly consistent. But again, this is based off of other agencies, the state, what we normally do. So
This is mirrors what the state had already established.
it doesn't mirror it. It takes into account some of what it has.
based on our size.
Right.
or pumping.
I mean, it's tailored to us more or less, but it's not.
Right, but it's gotta have all the state regulations
Right,
in
and it does. It has.
and then it goes beyond that.
And the hours are tailored towards what we do.
Okay, I'm talking more about the, not being able to water your lawn.
Yeah, that part follows the state.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
what
we already
triggered,
And not beyond just what the state outlined?
right,
Okay.
and what
Read that ordinance.
the stages are based on what we're doing. So based on the hours that we would have to see.
Okay. I understand. Does everybody understand that? Is there any public comment? Please.
Yeah, can I have that code number?
The code number?
Is
Or
there
the
a code
section?
number on the section?
I agree.
It's section 4.
Section 4 of what book?
Draft water
Calvin
code.
sent in a comment.
The
Water code, okay.
It's in the agenda packet.
Sorry?
Director Calvin sent in a comment.
Yes, he did.
regarding this item. Do you have it?
Okay, thanks.
I'm trying to find it.
He just didn't wanna quite go to public comment yet, cause he
It's
wanted
in
to do board.
section 4, it's not
You
in
want me to read it or you wanna read it?
There's,
It's not in our agenda?
Yeah, this,
Should be.
yeah. I have that.
okay, you wanna,
This
You want me to read it? I will.
yeah,
Okay, number 3.
Director Calvin's couldn't be here this evening, and he sent a letter in, which is now going to be public.
I wanted to add a couple comments to the agenda. This is Director Calvin's.
It's being read into record, so we're okay.
With regards to the water code and conservation section, it might be helpful to have a section regard water conservation for development, i.e. drought tolerant landscaping for new construction and or the use of rain barrels for collection of collection of water for irrigation on properties larger than 0.25 acres. Also, I have a question with regards to the availability and use of gray water for landscape and irrigation on private properties. This is that legal to encourage, and is it an effective tool for conservation? If these items are accepted, I would ask for their consideration to be included into the water code. Also, we do have a standard for potable AG water, potable ag water, not the purple pipe system, but ag water that is supplied via the drinking water distribution network. Also, what standard, if any, are we proposing with regards to chemicals